All right, so we got this message from a listener, someone really into Beyond the Code with Simba, wants to kind of go deeper, you
Yeah,
know?
you want to take it to the next level.
Exactly. So we're doing a deep dive into one of Simba's latest episode ideas, all about really how to leverage all these digital tools we keep hearing so much about.
Right, right. I think what's interesting is Simba really goes beyond just the surface. He's not saying just use Canva,
Hmm.
or learn to code.
Oh, for sure. It's definitely more than that.
Yeah, it's more about the why, the how. It's the strategic thinking, I think, behind really using these tools effectively.
Definitely. So it's about, like the big picture. And this episode idea had a ton of different tools.
Mhm.
We had everything from AI, LLMs, which can sound a little,
Yeah.
intimidating.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
like even design tools like Canva and even some productivity hacks that, who knows, maybe they'll change your whole workflow.
Yeah, and that's what makes it so, I guess, relevant. It doesn't matter what you do, really.
Yeah.
Like if you're a seasoned entrepreneur, if you're a student just starting out, I think there's something here for everyone.
Absolutely. So let's unpack this a little bit. Let's start with those LLMs. Seems like, everybody's talking about them these days, but what are they really? Like, why should our listener even care?
Well, LLMs are large language models, right? They're basically these really complex AI systems that have been trained on, massive amounts of data,
Hmm.
and they can understand and generate human-like text, which makes them super versatile.
Okay.
So think of it as like, you have the super powered research assistant who can help you with all sorts of things, summarizing those complex documents you've got. Maybe you write different creative content, blog posts, whatever it is, and even help you code, believe it or not.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that sounds amazing, but I'm not gonna lie, it also sounds kind of scary.
Yeah, yeah.
We like on the verge of the robot takeover.
I don't think it's about robots taking over necessarily. It's more about how can we use these tools to augment our own capabilities, right?
Right. Okay.
So imagine, you can offload those tedious tasks, things that take so much time, you can hand those off to an LLM.
Well, I think.
And then you can free up your brain to do the things that really need that human touch,
Yeah.
that creativity, strategy, building relationships, the really important stuff.
That's huge.
Yeah,
Especially if you're someone who, maybe feels overwhelmed by their to-do list or just like the amount of work they have.
all the time.
Right. So, Simba also talks a lot about visual communication, and that's where Canva comes in, right?
Right, absolutely. I mean, we live in a digital world now. Being able to communicate visually it's just essential.
For sure.
And the cool thing is anyone can use it, create professional looking graphics, presentations, social media content. You don't even need any design experience.
Right. It's like it levels the playing field for everybody.
Right. It really
You
does.
don't need like, a fancy design degree or expensive software to make stuff look really good.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? It's not even just about aesthetics, right? It's about clarity and impact. Like think about how much better a presentation is if it has well-designed visuals or if you have an infographic that can break down complex data,
Right.
make it easier to understand.
And that's huge. Okay, so Simba also mentioned a bunch of, these productivity tools, things like Notion, Zapier, Trello. It's like,
Yeah.
where do you even begin? It feels like a whole new world to navigate.
It can be overwhelming, yeah.
Yeah, it really can.
The key is don't try to learn everything at once.
Mm.
Start by looking at what are your biggest pain points, right? Are you spending hours doing the same tasks over and over, Are you struggling to keep all your projects organized? Like
Well,
once you know what you need help with, then you can start looking at those tools that can solve those specific problems for you.
makes total sense. So instead of getting overwhelmed by like all the
Yeah.
options, you just focus on, finding that right tool for the job.
Yeah.
Okay, so Simba's all about taking action,
Right.
right? Actually
Yeah.
applying this knowledge. So what would you say is like the most important takeaway for our listener, like, after we're done with this deep dive?
I think it's just don't be afraid to experiment, just dive in, play around with different tools, see what works best for you, Like the great thing about, living in this digital world is there's a tool for almost everything.
Yeah,
You just got to find the one that really fits you, and helps you reach your goals.
I love that. It's like Simba always says, it's not about the code. It's about what you build with it.
That's it.
So after this deep dive, what one tool are you most excited to explore?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go with Germler.